Thank you for joining me on my masterclass. Now, today we're going to be talking about 10 books to read for a successful 2022. 10 books to read if you want a successful year 2022. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I got a ton of emails from you, feedback in the comment sections of my previous videos, and then on my verified social media platforms. And then a number of you are asking, you keep telling us to read and to learn and to grow, but then you've not given us recommendations. Well, that's not quite accurate. I've given recommendations in the past, but it's okay. I'm here to meet a need. I'm a minister and I minister to your need. And so since a critical mass of my followers, of my subscribers have asked that they want to have book recommendations. Now, these are the 10 books that I would recommend that you read in the year 2022. And it takes discipline to read a book. So all these books, each of them are books that I've read. I'm not just going to give you something that I've not read, because the mind is a very terrible thing to waste, one, but also the mind is a very terrible thing to corrupt. So these books, they won't corrupt you. So without further ado, what are the 10 books to read if you want a successful year 2022? The very first book is read scripture. And by scripture, I mean the Torah, the Pentateuch, and then the prophets, and then the New Testament. What is called in modern times is called the Bible. But you have to understand that the Bible, consists of the Torah, the Pentateuch, which are the five books of Moses, and then some people have asked me about the seventh book of Moses. That is an occultic, mystical, magical book that you should not read. You should be as far away from that book as possible. So when I'm talking about scripture, I'm talking about the Pentateuch, the five books of Moses, and then the Torah, the prophets, and the New Testament. That's what I'm talking about. And then now the next book, the second book, is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by a man called Stephen Covey. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now I've read that book. It's an awesome book. I read that book very, very, very young, very, very early in my life. I was quite young, and it has really helped me. It has helped me. The laws in that book, it's amazing. Be proactive. Begin with the end in mind. Think win-win. Seek first to understand, and then to be understood. And then synergize. Sharpen the saw. Like those laws. I read that book and then it helped me. You see how I just, belted them out because I've internalized them. It's a very, very important book. It will help you to be very effective, and not just be very effective. It will also help you to be disciplined, to be successful, to be happy. Now, and the next book, that's the number 3 book, is How to Win Friends and Influence People. How to Win Friends and Influence People is written by a guy called Dale Carnegie. Now you need to read that book. It's a powerful book. It's an awesome book. A very, very powerful book. It helps you to understand human nature. And if you don't understand human nature, you're not going to be powerful, I'm telling you. And even if you get power by mistake, it's going to slip out of your grasp, because you need to understand human nature. Why? Because Christ said, love your neighbor as yourself. Now, if you don't understand your neighbor, you can't love your neighbor. And this book will help you to understand how to win friends and influence people. Now, the 4th book is a book called The Black Jacobins, and it's written by a guy called C.L.R. James. Now, C.L.R. James is a guy that you need to know. If you're my subscriber, if you're my follower, if you're a Reynolds Negotiator, you need to know this guy. C.L.R. James, he's a Trinidadian, or rather he was a Trinidadian, but this is a man who help black people all around the world, because he was a Pan-Africanist, to have an understanding of some of the great things that black people have done, especially during the transatlantic slave era, and then henceforth. It's a very important book, The Black Jacobins. Read it. It's a book that when you read, it's almost going to revolutionize you. It can radicalize you, but that's not the thing. Is that it's a book that will arm you. That will arm you and correct a lot of misconceptions that we've had in the past about enslaved black people in the Caribbean, in America, and also in Europe. Now, the 5th book I would recommend is The 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. The 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. It's by John C. Maxwell. Now, I also read that book. I think I read that book in 2004, and it's a very, very powerful book. I remember some of the laws there, the law of the lead, which really helped me a lot, because it says that if you put a person who is not the right type of person to be a leader, instead of him being a leader, he's going to be a lead. What that means is that he will prevent the people who are his subordinates from rising, and he himself will not rise. Another law is the law of process, and then another law, it talks about a platform, that a leadership position does not confer you with any kind of like influence, that it's a platform for you to expand your influence or to destroy your influence. And it's true, we've seen it. And then the sixth book that I'm going to be recommending to my followers is Focus, the hidden driver of excellence, by a guy called Daniel Goleman. Daniel Goleman is one man who understands how the human mind operates. One man who understands. I read that book. That book really blew my mind. It tells you how the human mind operates. And then also, in the whole world, there are probably two people who understand how the human mind operates at that level. There's Daniel Goleman, and then there's a guy called Simon Baron Cohen. If you heard of Ali G, Sacha Baron Cohen, this guy Simon is his cousin. But this guy, he runs an institute called the Mind Institute. Anyway, I'm digressing. If you read Focus by Daniel Goleman, I'm telling you, your understanding of emotional intelligence will just explode. It's just going to explode. Now, the seventh book I'm going to recommend to my followers is The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. I know there's been some controversy around Norman Vincent Peale, but I'm telling you, the book is a book that you should read. It will help you. It helps you, like understand the power of thought. Like you read in Proverbs 23:7, it says, as a man thinks, so is he. But with that book, it teaches you how to replace negative thoughts with positive thoughts. It teaches you how to have a positive self-image, self-esteem. It teaches you how to, like if work with people that you don't even like. It's a very powerful book. I would recommend that book. Now, the eighth book I would be recommending, that would be The Speed of Trust. The Speed of Trust, also by Stephen Covey, who wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The Speed of Trust. Now, it's a very, very powerful book, because that book made me understand how important it is to build trust between people, and then, even in societies. He explained to me that trust is what makes an economy move. And he gave an example. If you go to a very rich neighborhood, the groceries, mobile phones, like utilities are going to be cheaper than if you go to a poor neighborhood. Why? Because in a poor neighborhood, there's very low trust, and when there's low trust, you're going to have security. You're going to have guards. Excuse me, and all these things, they cost money. But then in a rich environment, there's high trust. And so when there's high trust, you have less security, less guards, and then the savings are passed on to you. So that's the speed of trust. I read that book. It's a very, very powerful book. And then the next book is a book called As a Man Thinks. As a Man Thinks. This book is written by a guy called Allen. Now, it's a very, very powerful book. This book and The Power of Positive Thinking is going to help you with your internal dialogue, with your self-dialogue. And then finally, I will also recommend to you my own book, Start Solving Problems. My own book, Start Solving Problems. The book sold out when it was released last year, but it's a very powerful book. And then I wrote it. I don't want to go into self-adulation. I don't want to be egotistical, but I will recommend my book. Now, these are my top picks for you to read in the year 2022. If you have questions arising from what I've just said, you can put them in the comment section of this video, or you can go to my verified social media platforms. You see that check, it's verified. It's my social media platform. And then you put your questions. I've got staff, they go through the comments, they read each and every comment. And then remember, I don't have a WhatsApp I don't have a WhatsApp number. I don't have a Telegram channel. I don't have a Gmail account. Scammers have seen that my videos tend to go viral, and then they try to deceive people by telling them that they are me. They download my photos. Be careful. This is Brandon Mokri. Thank you for watching. God bless you.